What the hell was I thinking? What the hell was I thinking? Good ride. Oh, I forgot to mention that when I shaved, January cried and Jamie was upset and Nicole wouldn't look at me. So it would appear as if I might have to grow a beard and never have this face again. Today I have a listing presentation. Let's see how it works out. I think I want my beard back. Like, I'm looking at my face and I actually can't believe it, but it's possible to be even better looking than I already am. Nothing worse than being late and having a car that won't go past 80 miles an hour. All right, 5 minutes late. I shaved off 2 minutes, but
soon after.
Okay, that just happened. I just took that listing, that beautiful, cute house behind me. Yup, it is a gorgeous single-story house. Guess how I got it? Door knocking. 2 years ago, almost a year and a half of incubation. That's just the time it takes. But holy cow. It only took 1 day back at the office, 2 days back at the office before I ended up at Chipotle. I just can't do without it.
346 minutes later.
I just stood up. 201 contacts, 5 leads generated. I am the beast.
The following day.
Well, I was making my calls and I got a hold of somebody who I did a listing presentation on about a year and a half ago. And he goes, yeah, actually I am thinking of selling. Can you be here in an hour? I said, okay. Okay, so it looks like I'll probably get it, just not right now. There's a couple of extenuating circumstances that are going to be postponing this activity of listing the property, but I hope by next Thursday. All right, just dropped off the gift for my clients that we closed escrow like 2 weeks ago. Now I'm running around like crazy because I have 2 appointments here in town and I got to get back to my latest listing photography shoot, photo shoot in about 2 hours. So everything's like clockwork, and if I get one hiccup behind, which I've already got one big hiccup, I might actually make it back on time. But there's one real bummer about coming back into this neighborhood. I used to own this neighborhood. Like every street I can point to, I would say I've sold one house on every street in this city, but in many cases 2 or 3. And so every house has a story. And it took me nearly, 13 years to have a story for every house. Well, I've been in my neighborhood that I'm living in now for about 5 years. It'll be 5 years in March. And I just don't see that storyline building. There's no, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like I'm as connected. But then again, last night I did go for a bike ride in a really high altitude, and I was telling my wife, I go, yeah, I knocked on that door and that door and I knocked on that door, and so I did have some stories to tell, but I'd rather be able to tell the story of I sold that house, I sold that house, I sold that house, instead of yeah, I knocked on that door, yeah, I knocked on that door and that door too, yeah, and I remember knocking here. Soon enough, right? But man, can never come soon enough. I sold that house, I sold that house, I sold that house. On the flip side of coming to this neighborhood, the pride of ownership fluctuates so drastically here where sometimes when I pull back in, I'm like, wow, this place is going down. Like right now, it looks all right. It's not too bad, except for that house. Appointment number 3 off the books. I'm going to be wiring over the contracts And oh, that place looks great. Wow, we were talking like 380 a month ago. He worked his butt off. Now we're talking like 420, 430. It's amazing what a little bit of sweat equity can do, and I'm impressed. So I'd say by this Friday we could launch. Okay, my timeline looks fantastic. I am doing a great job of staying steady. I'm gonna make it to my photo shoot for this last listing, and then I'm gonna go back to the office, make a couple calls. So much traffic now. I mean, it's almost like COVID's over. I have a feeling that very soon we're gonna be divided even more so in this whole COVID thing to not just the maskers and the no maskers, which eventually turned out to be the anti-maskers. We're gonna just say that there's this like subset of the population that still are, you know, heavily immersed in compliance and fear, and the rest of us are going to be back at work like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but we're not stopping. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're at the photo shoot right now of my new listing on Shaydell Place. This one's gone. Yeah, that's a rooster. This one's gone. It'll be gone before the end of the day. These photography visits are just very lengthy. You want to make sure everything looks good, and then if the photographer is really good, they're going to take their time. So that's exactly what happened. I have to be back at that property at 5 o'clock tonight just to show the thing, and then hopefully by 5:30 I'll be back at the house or at the office working.
One winner later.
I had a 5 o'clock appointment to go back out to that property, but the buyer or potential buyer also was a listing, right? She was going to talk about selling her house. She ended up listing with another agent and canceled my appointment to see the house, which probably means she's going to try to come out and see the house with the other agent. Well, that's some crap. What kind of loyalty is that? I told her I'd get her in there, and then someone else jumps in and like, that's it? Yeah. So anytime I get screwed out of money, I really want to go back to work and go get it back. It was a buyer who called me up last Tuesday. She called me Tuesday, 3 days ago, and said, I'm interested in your listing. I'd like to see it. But I have to sell my house first, maybe. When can I see the house? My real estate brain should have kicked on and said, oh, you need to sell a house first. We should probably meet immediately to talk about the sale of your house, and then I'll show you that house Friday, whether or not it works out. What the hell was I thinking? What the hell was I thinking? Well, I said, okay, let's schedule an appointment for Friday at 5 o'clock. We'll take a look at it. And the whole time I knew, you know, she might have to sell her house. It's going to be contingent, but she wants to see this first. So automatically my pea brain thought, I'll get her tonight and show her this house, and then we'll talk about selling her house. What made me think that she was going to shut down her operation and not reach out to another agent and say, I'm interested in this house, let's talk? She must have talked to at least 15 agents in the time that I talked to her, and at least one of them had half a brain to say, can I come by and take a look at your house, see what it's worth? And she was like, okay. What was I thinking? Why am I such an idiot? I'm pretty disappointed with myself. It's almost like I'm not even thinking straight anymore. My client is not answering her phone, and I've had like 15 requests to show the property tomorrow. So I gotta go run over there. It's about 8:15 at night. I'm just now leaving the office. I got 110 contacts in at a 10% pickup rate. That's pretty good prospecting that, if you ask me. Every time I wear these masks, I curse the masks. Do you believe masks work or not? Obviously, if you've got a cold, I think you should definitely wear a mask. I think the one good thing that is going to come out of this COVID situation is that people are going to stop walking into Rite Aid and going to the liquor store and all those places, snotting up everywhere. But have we like been accommodated now? Or are we going to be doing this forever? Standing in the street talking to one of the neighbors, and both of them are standing there. And I go, hey James, what are you doing here so late? I go, you guys have your phones on you? Like, oh yeah. And she looks at hers. Oh no, I don't have mine on me. And she looks at the husband. She goes, do you? And he pulls out his phone. He's like, yeah, but it's not on. I'm like, ugh. I go, guys, give me 3 days of having your phone on. And I go, you got to go in there. There's like, I said, there's like 12, 15 people standing around waiting for you to hit the yes button. She goes, oh, I'll do that now. I'm like, okay, good, thank you. She goes, I'm sorry you had to come all this way. I'm like, you're on my way home. Like, that's fine. I just want to make sure you guys are okay. Okay. But yeah, you're going to have a busy day tomorrow and Sunday. And hopefully by Monday we'll wrap this thing up. I sat down totally ready to edit for like 2-3 hours straight. And there was 2 beers in the fridge. So I'm going to go to the liquor store and get some.